Hello, everyone. Welcome to Game Week 4. They got the Contcast team here together, although it's kind of light on members today. But we have JK
Hi.
and audio only, JL.
Audio only again. Hi all. Hi everybody.
We'll get the phone sorted out next time, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's on the tablet actually, but yeah.
Right. So before we started recording, I think there's only two main topics, and then we'll get into a lot of Rate My Teams, which you guys put into the chat. The first one being, if you're holding Martial, what is your bench like? Or if you're selling, and that's what we started recording this, who is the person you're selling for? So, JK, I believe you're on Felipe Anderson, and I brought the article up here if you want to scroll down and give your thoughts as to why he would be your replacement.
Yeah. So I looked at the fixtures firstly, and I'm thinking Martial has got blank and Leicester. I'm thinking potentially there, but I've made 0.1 on him. If he drops, I can buy him back for the same price I sold. I see goals in those two games because you've got three sides that really like to attack, but maybe aren't so good defensively. If you look at someone like Anderson, obviously he missed the second game week, which skews everything a bit. But he's created three big chances, which is obviously De Bruyne's got 6, you've got Trent on 4, and then you've got him and Lord Lundstrom on 3.
Mm-hmm.
And he's also taken, I think it was 4 shots, 3 inside the box, most of which came against Watford. But if Watford is skewing stats because they're poor defensively, I'm not sure that Norwich is going to do much to alter that particular trend. So I feel like creatively wise, he's probably not as good as Lanzini, but he probably offers a lot more in terms of goal threat. Anderson's one of those players, if you get him when he's on a hot streak, he will hoover up points. I just have to hope he's on a hot streak.
You have to time it, right?
Yeah, because when he's not on it, he is pretty much useless.
Jo, any thoughts on either Anderson or potentially other replacements for Martial?
Well, I gotta agree on the Anderson part. I remember last year, his streak ended more or less in the winter around the Southampton game when he went on that crazy run. I think it was 16 points away to Southampton. And then suddenly he dried up. Maybe it was fatigue or I have no clue why it was. But JK is absolutely right. If Felipe Anderson hits that hot form, he's absolutely one of the best midfielders in the price bracket. I haven't looked into the stats, honestly, so I can't really tell whether it's Lanzini or Felipe. Which one is the preferable choice? I'm selling Martial myself, but my Martial replacement is Sebastian Haller, as weird as it sounds, but it is his price bracket, so I'm basically selling Martial and Firmino, getting Pepe and Haller for those price brackets. I believe they will score at least 2 goals against Norwich, and again, after that they have Aston Villa, so absolutely fine choice, I think.
Who are you selling Martial for to load that off?
Sorry, come again?
Are you selling Martial for anybody in order to get Haller in the front line, or are you just benching Martial?
No, I'm selling Martial, and I'm getting Pepe from Arsenal.
Oh, okay.
So that's an upgrade, obviously, but to get those funds, I will be selling Firmino to Haller, indeed.
I like that, actually. That has merit to it. You can see Haller here is at the top for the XGI, although it's kind of skewed because he missed a couple of matches, and the one he did finally start, he scored, obviously, with a couple of goals. So if this is sorted by minutes per XGI, and you can see Anderson is at the top, almost double, actually over double ahead of Lanzini. But as JK said, Lanzini is the more creative force and much better chance of getting assists and, scoring from outside the box.
To be fair, I think that's going to be really a lottery, to be honest. And I think all of them could do as well. It's which one is going to get on that hot form is hard to predict, really. So
it's like any time you pick anybody outside the top 6, it's usually a lottery. You're hoping
exactly.
you get the right one. So would any of you, and I asked this in the context of my team, but I know there's a few others in the group who also went early for somebody like Barnes or whatnot, any hit worthwhile to sell Martial, or is it better just to bench and let your bench do the job, whoever you have coming in?
Okay,
JK,
so
do you
I
want
want
to go first? Or
yeah. So I think it depends on your bench, to be quite honest. Like I'm looking at my bench, and it's currently Greenwood / Maitland-Niles. I haven't decided which of the two yet. Then Donker and Lundstrom. So Lundstrom, I think away at Chelsea, as he's a defender, attacking threat has to take second preference. I think he has to go on the bench. Then Donker, I think away at Everton, they haven't conceded at home in about 7 or 8 games now, going back to the back end of last season. So Greenwood, if we get news he plays, I'll probably bring him in for Maitland-Niles. But I think if you've got a decent sub or you don't need an upgrade somewhere, you can potentially stick him on the bench. I think it just depends on how much you trust your bench.
Right. Mine, as you can see there, is Lundstrom first sub, but I'm starting Greenwood. I think even in a sub appearance, he might get something. I actually think he is going to start, but we don't have anything concrete, as you said. The problem is that Donker being a doubt. If he does miss out at all, I'm looking at a 1-pointer most likely from Lundstrom, unless he scores or assists again. So in this respect, I wasn't planning on taking a hit, but us talking right now, maybe he will push me that way. Martial shouldn't, because he's priced, he's red flag now, so he shouldn't fall today, but definitely the potential is there for that to happen over the international break.
Yeah. How much have you got in the bank just out of?
I got 0.9.
So you could, for example, go for a Cantwell.
For Martial? Yeah.
For Dendonka, for example.
Oh, sure. I could do that. I mean, that's easily doable. Again, since I'm planning on wildcarding, in the next 2, 3, 4 weeks, selling a 4.
Yeah, it's probably not worth it. Like if you're happy with that bench, it's probably worth keeping Martial, because unless you're gonna do something, you've already got Sterling, Salah, De Bruyne knocking about in there, so you're not going to finish unless you're going to do something like try and bring in a Laporte or Zinchenko or someone like that. It's not worth. I'm pretty much selling Martial because I would need the cash, and he's the most sellable option. As far as like it. We'll get to my team there, but he looks to me to be the obvious sell.
The problem with bringing Cantwell in for a hit is, away to West Ham and then City at home. It doesn't give much time to earn the hit.
Yeah,
back.
I think it's probably not worth it.
If anything, I'd do Martial out and then get back.
Yeah, unless you're going to bring in a West Ham mid or someone like that, and throw Dendonka or Greenwood back on the bench, it's probably not worth it.
Right.
And it's not a move I do just for the sake of doing it. So it's probably not worth it at least not for you.
It really depends on the circumstances, doesn't it? Because there are some teams that I see that selling Martial is close to necessary, even because they don't have any suitable bench to come in. But in your case, one I can see even Lundstrom. The funny thing about Lundstrom is he's playing away to Chelsea, and like with players, if you own, let's say, that Robinson guy, the midfielder from Sheffield, you'd actually fancy Sheffield to score, wouldn't you, at Stamford Bridge? I mean, there is a chance, given how poorly they have defended so far this season. So, you've got Lundstrom, who is still a midfielder, so he can still provide some goals or assists away to Stamford Bridge. So he's not such a bad option, in my opinion. So I think in your case, and in the case of people who actually have Lundstrom first sub, I think it's perfectly fine to have him as a backup.
For people that might have Martial as third mid, for example, and then 2 4.5s, one of which is Dendonka, then you're right. Then I see the enhancement there to sell. Yep. All right. So the other big question this week was Aguero. For those moving Kane to Aguero and had the money to do so, or even Aubameyang to Aguero, that's pretty easy. Most of the people, though, are taking a hit. So, JK, since you're one of the ones doing that, I think you already said what your move is going to be and to fund Aguero, but just give your general thoughts on why you think that is worth it. Not that we need to go through Aguero's resume, but in general.
I mean, yeah. First of all, let me deal with the guy on Twitter, because it still makes me chuckle even now when I said I was going to do it, and he just went. It's a completely knee-jerk point-chasing move. I was just like, you heard of Sergio Aguero, right?
Yeah, not really point-chasing, but...
No, it's Aguero. Like, I mean, that's the first thing. But, I mean, with Jesus injured, now, okay, he could be back post international break, but we know, at least as far as we can tell for this week, Aguero is nailed for 90 minutes in a home game against Brighton.
Right.
Kane, like, I don't know if you saw it last week, but there was a heat map posted of Harry Kane, and most of his touches were around the halfway line. And I think he might have even touched the ball more in the right back slot than he did in the penalty area. And with Ndombele still injured, I'm not convinced that's going to get better this week. I think with Aguero, you know what you're getting.
Yeah. Did we lose JK? JO, you still there?
Yes, I am still there.
JK's stream kind of went off on us. So, yeah, I think I wouldn't have even had the money if I had not moved early for Barnes to go for Aguero unless I sold KDB. So I've kind of made my bet and I'm okay with that. But totally see the appeal, especially for the next 2, 3 going forward. Even game week 7 look to be
Absolutely.
over points.
Absolutely, especially if you're selling Kane. I mean, many people bought him on the wild card, hoping that he would return straight away against Newcastle. That wasn't the case, and he was so deep. He didn't take many shots, and he just looked so poor. And Tottenham are really struggling with injuries at the moment. I just don't see them winning at Anfield. Sorry, not at Anfield, at the Emirates. And today, they're just in a really bad position, in my opinion. So Aguero is a no-brainer, I think, at least for the next 3 game weeks.
Yep. Sorry, JK, you dropped out on us. You want to?
Yeah, I thought so. So yeah. So look, J.O. just sort of finished echoing what I was saying, that Kane's heat map was so poor against Newcastle. And with Ndombele still out, I'm not convinced that's going to change anytime soon. At least not for the next one. With Aguero, you know he's going to be advanced. You know he's going to get the service because it's City. Like, Brighton at home and Norwich away just seems like two absolute no. And then Watford at home just seem like absolute no-brainer fixtures to have Aguero for. And then you reassess for 7 and 8, maybe take a short-term punt, because between 8 and 9 is second international break, which is probably when I'm going to be looking to wildcard. So for sort of the next 3, I think it's a very viable punt.
So you're looking to wild card between 8 and 9, is what you're saying?
Between 8 and 9, if you look, that's second international break, and I think Arsenal have great fixtures around then. Chelsea have great fixtures around then. United get a great run around them, which maybe brings Martial back into focus.
Yep.
Are you still going to captain Aguero?
Sorry?
Are you still going to put an armband on him this week?
That is my plan, yeah. I'm still planning to captain him. I think this could be the week for Aguero.
Fair enough.
I think
that's the only week, probably one of the few weeks in the season when you can actually be comfortable,
Sure.
You haven't hit the armband, given no Jesus. So yeah, that's a good time. But the downside of getting Aguero is having those 3 players over 12 million. I mean, Aguero is 12 million exactly. But then you probably already have Salah and you already have Sterling, and how it affects the rest of your team in the long term.
Yeah,
I can see the appeal in your case because you're wildcarding in a few weeks anyway. So that's fair enough. But in terms of people who already use that wildcard, it's something I would maybe not recommend getting Aguero in, because it really fucks up your balance, doesn't it, in the team?
Yeah, I mean, I've been rocking with 3 premiums all season. It's not served me too badly so far.
Right.
But it'll be something I'll be looking when I get to sort of that wildcard period. But as you can see there, those Arsenal fixtures are pretty impressive. And if your Pepe punt has paid off, I may well be joining you if he's looking worth having for that sort of run. Then you've also got Chelsea with a decent run, which brings someone like Mount into focus. Martial and Rashford come back into focus around then. Yeah, if you have a quick look after the Liverpool game,
that's it. Yeah.
They have a really nice run, Chelsea. Apart from that City game knocking about in there, right through till like 16. So someone like Mount comes into play, and again, United have a really good run from sort of 7, 8-ish. So it just seems to me, and Spurs as well, which potentially brings in a Son or an Eriksen if Spurs are looking better.
Spurs a bit mixed, but yeah.
Spurs a bit mixed, so you could maybe justify going without them. But if you look again at United, for example,
Yeah,
That's another good one. If you look, so if you look after, so 9 they've got Liverpool, but if you look at the ones immediately following Liverpool, right up to again 10, right up again till about 14, it's a really good run that
Mhm.
in terms of games you'd expect United to pick up a few goals in.
Yeah. Although in terms of wildcard, I'm not even sure about that game week 8 and 9. I think I'll just use it when I need, when I get many injuries in my team or suddenly everyone goes out of form. Because as you've seen this season so far, even like with guys like Pukki, he suddenly scores against Chelsea and Liverpool. I mean, you wouldn't expect it before the season started. You were looking at him and we're like, nah, Pukki, not really a good option. He plays 2 top six sides in the first 3 games. And suddenly he comes up with stuff like that. So I think it's still far more of a fixture. So I wouldn't, overthink.
Yeah,
Fixtures
it depends. I may need to work out if I need to lose Aguero and say restructure my team, then it's potentially worth it.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah.
So I could save it. Like if I'm doing well and I can lose Aguero, take the money out and restructure without the wild card, then there's that option there. Because, for example, Aguero out, he's the most expensive striker there. So Aguero to someone like a Vardy immediately frees up 3 million that could be used to get in a Mount type player, or bring jump back on or sell Felipe back to Martial, for an example. So I think as a short-term punt, knowing I've still got a wild card in my pocket if I need it, I'm happy enough to roll with Aguero and then reassess. But I think there's some good fixture swings around that international break that we need to be looking to take advantage of.
It's funny, just looking at Pukki. I remember I wasn't on the cast for game week 2, but I watched it later back on when Bo made his non-6 goal scoring pick of Pukki. So it was before the Newcastle hat trick. I think this was like 5.5% or somewhere around 5.5, 6.
Yeah.
Go up to that much in 2 game weeks is crazy.
Yeah, he's gone up 0.5 in 3 game weeks, price wise.
Yep. And I'm sure some of that is in 1 week teams that are trying to win the game week only rank, but it's still amazing, impressive that I don't know if I've seen a player rise that much percentage wise in 2 game weeks. But
No, Michu was close. I think Michu didn't get that wasn't too far behind him in his first season.
yeah, it's a good one. And I think probably Kane, when he was 6 million, was probably one that also rose pretty quickly after he started going in his first year. All right, so let's get into the rate my teams. JK, I think as you said, you're at the top of where we started with this. Here we are.
Yeah. So I already told you what my plan is. So basically, I need 0.7 to do the Kane to Aguero move, and it just strikes me that Martial to Felipe is a better move than say Perez to Cantwell or McGinn, and there's not really anywhere else obvious you can make that sort of saving.
Yeah, I think we've nailed it. What you're trying to do with that.
So realistically, then my only debate becomes who my 11th man is, and it's essentially one of Dendoncker, Greenwood, Maitland-Niles, or Lundstrom. One of those guys has to start.
Again, if
you know my opinion, I think Maitland-Niles.
Yeah.
I would actually agree with J.O. on that.
Yeah, Maitland-Niles is who I currently have.
This is a good week to start him with all the injuries Spurs have. I mean,
looking
again,
at your team, JK. Looking at your team, I was wondering if there wasn't a Jesus injury, I think many of us would be actually looking at Aubameyang as a straight Kane replacement.
Yeah, but there is the Jesus injury.
Yeah, there is.
So,
yeah, of course, Aguero is the better option, no doubt. I'm just saying.
Yeah, and in some respects, I'm annoyed with myself for doing that Kane to Aubameyang to Kane move last week. But on the other hand, it's worked out for me in the sense of I probably wouldn't sell Aubameyang for Aguero.
That is true. Let's see if
Kane for Aguero.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so we're good. We kind of talked about it.
So it's also realistically worth showing, as far as I've got Henderson.
Yeah.
After Southampton post-international break, Sheffield United have a really, really terrible fixture run. It is actually horrendous how bad it is.
Are you looking to sell him for let's say,
Possibly Pope, because Burnley have a really nice run.
Pope would
Yeah,
be.
I was
Pope would
looking at it
be
as
my-
well because, as you said, it is terrible. Even if you're playing to wildcard around 8 or 9, you still get like 3 terrible fixtures out of him.
Yeah,
And we
you get
had
like
last season
Everton
as
and
well.
Liverpool knocking about in there.
Yeah, you don't want to double up Landstrom and Henderson for those fixtures.
No.
But yeah, on the
So-
other hand, wasting a transfer and a 4.5 keeper, maybe you'll be hoping for some penalty saves. I don't know.
Yeah, it's tough, but it's possibly another reason to look at the wildcard and go for Pope. But theoretically, that move could pay itself back in 1 week with Burnley's fixtures.
He's a
I
burn.
mean, he is a terrific penalty stopper, isn't he? And it's one of the
Yeah,
reasons
he
we
is.
actually got him in the first place. So you would expect some penalties in those fixtures, yeah.
All right.
Okay, so I'm good with that. So where are we at?
We're at double G.
Right.
One free, nothing in the bank. He's thinking of Martial to Cantwell or Mount, or Martial and Van Dijk to KDB and Lundy -4, or just do nothing.
So we did Martial to Mount.
And that would-
He bent Greenwood, I guess.
Yeah, that would appear it. And this is obviously posted before the Dundalk yellow flag, so that would be my move. I'm
Yeah.
not sure a hit. KDB, I don't think is worth a hit at this point.
No. Are you able to see this, Jo?
Right.
Yeah, I just turned on the YouTube video, so I'm like 10 seconds behind. So
Okay.
just bear with me.
There is a delay.
Yeah, I do see the team now, and save sounds good to me, to be honest. I mean, why not? You still got Dendonker. If something goes down, you can still have Dendonker off the bench. So I would say save that one. Although I can see the options, so could you repeat the options you mentioned, please?
Sure. So his options were Martial to Cantwell or Mount, Martial and Van Dijk to KDB and Lundstrom -4, or hold.
Yeah, hold.
I wouldn't do B for sure. I could see the appeal of A. Romero's his last bench spot.
I mean, I'm not a big fan of Mount for the moment because they've got 3 tough fixtures offensively in the next 3 weeks.
Right.
And in terms of Cantwell, I would still probably like to play Greenwood ahead of Cantwell, even though I'm not sure Greenwood's going to start. But I think his upside is bigger. So even if he gets Cantwell, what's the point of moving out Martial if Martial is going to be back for the next game week?
Right.
Yeah, so for me, probably safe.
Okay. Hey, Phil.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hey, Phil.
Hello, everyone.
Is this your first cast? I don't remember you having on here before.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, welcome. We have JO and JK. We're
Feeling a little sleepy right now.
No worries. Okay, Froggy's next. 0.3 in the bank. Save and play either Montoya or Lundstrom. Yuck.
Don't play Montoya, for goodness sake. Why would you play Montoya?
Nobody in the group will like you after you do that, but you have to keep it clean. Do one of those two to Soy Boy or Kelly or Gilbert, who I'm actually thinking now. I think Gilbert has earned his spot back now, at least for now. Or C, Martial and Wickham to Cantwell or Haller -4. Again, don't like the hit. My thought would be do B, maybe to Gilbert, because I think our run is still pretty good for the next 4 or 5.
Yeah, who would he be selling?
For Gilbert, it would be
One of Montoya or Lundstrom. I would
yeah,
sell-
most likely.
Montoya. Yeah, I mean, good deal. He's got Montoya in the starting line right now. I mean, that could be negative. Quite comfortable. That could easily end up being a minus score.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I would look at Montoya out to either Gilbert or Soyuncu, either one.
Yeah, for me, it's Soy Boy.
Right.
So you-
Soyuncu after his world-class assist last week.
Yes, he did. Although he does seem like a threat on set pieces. I mean, he's a big guy with his muscles.
Yeah. Yeah, that has got to be the gem assist I think I've ever got, though.
Yeah.
That's just ludicrous.
That was a brilliant finish from Barnes, wasn't it, though?
It was.
Was, huh?
So yeah, for me, Montoya to Soy Boy, but Gilbert is also a really nice option with those fixtures and with the attacking threat. So
Yep.
both options are fine.
Brighton's fixtures turn very bad very soon, so it has a
Well,
good shot of
Yeah, like now. Like if you're having to play a Brighton defender away at City, you're in any defender away at City, bar maybe a pool defender, you're sort of really scraping the barrel with your team.
right.
He's the best option.
Phil,
I would have even picked Lundstrom ahead of him, to be honest.
this week, yeah, I guess because he is playing as a midfielder.
Is Phil still
yeah.
with us?
Phil's here there. Yeah, Phil, your thoughts?
Yeah, are you asking about Lundstrom or Montoya?
Well, I was asking Froggy's question is: should he save or should he play one of Montoya or Lundstrom or sell one of those for Soy Boy, Kelly, or Gilbert?
I think I would play Lundstrom easily.
Play Lundstrom and save the free.
Yes. Don't Soybo has 2 difficult fixtures after this week, I think.
And I should take a look.
Yeah, he's got United away after the international break. I'm not sure who it is after that.
Yeah, they've got like two top 6 fixtures, I think, after the international break.
Yeah, Spurs.
But if you look at it, if he gets
Not bad.
Montoya, he can still play Lundstrom at home to Southampton. So yeah, Tottenham is not such a bad fixture. I mean, they are able to keep clean sheets at home against Tottenham.
Right. Montoya has Burnley at home next week, which that's a tough one to call, but it could be a clean sheet the way they play at home and the way they set up. All right. I still think I would sell. I would.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I'd play Lundstrom if you want to say, but I'd be tempted to sell Montoya and just get Soyuncu in because you can play Lundstrom next week instead of him, and after that, you probably okay to just play. You've got Alexander Arnold, Robertson, and Digne. So you can just play 3 and bring in, and you've got and just play McGinn every week basically. Play 3-5-2.
So I think we're kind of split, Froggy, between A or B. Either way, I think if you are moving one of those guys out for one of the 3 options you asked for, it would be Montoya. I think would be our suggestion. Or as Phil said, just play Lundstrom this week. All right, Les Blues is next.
Yeah, he's basically a midfielder, Lundstrom.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, he's there.
Oh. Second place in the Conts League.
Yeah.
Les Blues.
A hell of a last 2 game weeks.
Yeah, Salah captain last week really propelled him.
So he wants to know about doing Dendonka to Cantwell and play him over Jota, or save and play Greenwood over Jota, or save and play what he has here. Again, I talked about before Phil joined. I don't like Cantwell as a pick now just because of how Norwich's fixtures turned right after this week. So.
Yeah, I think I'd just be leaving that as it is.
Yeah, play Jota.
What's that?
I don't see any problem with Jota.
Yeah, I don't either.
No, I'd just be leaving that as it is.
Yeah, I probably would too.
I would just save. Definitely just play as it is for sure. I would just switch Mount with Salah to make it more aesthetic.
Oh, yeah, get the aesthetics sorted out.
Yeah.
No, I would switch Mount. I would move De Bruyne across with Sterling and then move Mount across below Digne. So you've got Salah below Van Dijk.
Probably want to have 2 Liverpool defenders in the middle and then Wan-Bissaka on the right. But otherwise, it looks good to me.
Yeah. I would probably keep this the way it is too. Maybe move Greenwood to second sub or even first if Donk has an injury. But I see no problem playing Jota this week.
And I wonder if Jota's going to be like last season, just doesn't score for the first half of the season and suddenly just goes crazy when it turns to January.
His ownership is 2% and everybody stole him. Yeah, that's possible.
Yeah.
He's doing well in Europa, so.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, but they're not scoring in the league. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Who are we on?
This is Pirlo. He is looking at
Pirlo.
should he save.
I think that's a Kelly. I'd probably put Lundstrom over Kelly, personally.
I think you
But
can.
otherwise, I think that's an easy save, to be
Yeah,
honest.
this is a save. I don't see a need to panic sell Martial or anything. I think it's fine.
No, I think that's an easy save. He can't get Aguero anyway because he's maxed out on City there.
Yeah.
The only thing I would maybe change is I would vice captain Mane. I don't like having captain and vice captain in the same game.
Well, they're both going to start. I mean, there's always a possibility of throwing.
I mean, as well, they'll both start. If that game randomly somehow, let's say there's a flu overnight here.
Oh yeah.
Then suddenly the game gets called off. Suddenly you have no captain at all.
Yeah. Yeah, in that case, I could see. Actually, I might even take a punt in VC Holler, believe it or not.
Yeah.
I think that's a good fixture for that. Phil, do you think this is a save?
Yep, definitely.
Yeah, pretty easy one there. With only 0.2 in the bank, I think it's even more so a save now because his only move would be Martial out to one of the West Ham midfielders, I guess.
And he's got Haller already, so I'm not sure I'd be taking the double up.
Yeah. Okay, this is Chelsea's main team.
Yeah.
Are
we sure on that one?
Well,
One of many.
quantify it, so it's not Anfield, it's not by Reds, it's not the pool only team. So I think it's his. So is it a save 0.02 in the bank?
I mean, isn't that literally the same team as almost?
Well, no Kelly, but yeah, pretty much it's Kelly.
Pretty much it's Duncan Barnes over Kelly and Haller from the look of it.
Yeah, so it's basically the same thing.
Same thing.
Yeah, that's a comfortable save. It's not even a question.
Josie basically wildcarded for Martial when he's injured now.
For sure. Yeah, I think it's fine. Greenwood could be first sub in this case.
Yeah, decent.
Yeah. And just let him sub in. All right. PKW has a question. Martial to Cantwell or saving the free transfer and play Kelly? I think that's B.
Yeah, that's B as well.
B, very easy. Again, I know the appeal at Cantwell, but we talked about what their fixtures are post this week. I mean, it's pretty, like the next two are terrible. So the hit on that is going to go out of him. I'm sorry, Joe, go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying that most of the wildcarders from last week have the same dilemma, whether it's selling Martial or playing a 4.5 or 4 million defender.
Right.
And I think it's sensible to just keep Martial if you can afford to do so, because he's going to come good in a few weeks' time, for sure, if he's fit, and it seems he will be fit after international break. So it's fine to keep him.
Yeah, I would save.
Who are they playing? Norwich after City, by the way.
The run gets a little bit better after that. They have
two tough fixtures. So it's City and
Burnley, Palace away, and Villa home. I would argue
Burnley
away is not a 2. But
I mean, Burnley's a tough fixture away from home, at least.
yeah.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
Palace, who knows? We don't know what they're going to do week to week. Villa at home's a good fixture. So, yeah, I mean, it's not a terrible run after these next two. It's just a matter of for this week. I think you can just play Kelly. And he's already wild carded. So, again. All right. So, Boss has 4 options. Save the free. Martial to your boy Anderson, JK. Wickham to Greenwood. Or Martial and Wickham to Cantwell and Haller, which I assume is for a hit.
I'll be honest here. I think the first issue, if I can see correctly, because I'm still on my phone, I can barely see the team, but I think it's Moise Keane there.
Yeah, it's Moise Keane.
He's stuck with him, I think.
I mean, he might start, he might not, but at the moment, I just don't see any upside in Moise Keane, to be honest. And I know he got him on a wild card with big expectations, but for me, he's an easy sell here. And you can get Haller, and you can get Ashley Barnes for him.
He started with Moise Keane. I don't know if Boss is wild carded, has he? Because he started with Keane.
I don't think he has.
No, I think he started with Keane.
Let me just have a quick look. I don't think he has.
That's a wild card because there is Mane there. So it looks like a wild card team, like a fresh one.
Let's see. This is him, right?
Yeah, that's him.
He did wild card, and he kept Keane on the wild card. Wow, he did
Yeah,
start.
he did. Yeah, he has wild carded.
Yeah, because this is his game week 1 team has Moise Keane in it. If I'm yeah, see, interesting. That was aggressive. Yeah, so I don't know if he has money Keane.
Is there anything in the bank? For
I don't believe so. He didn't say. I could look at his. Assuming he had,
Yeah, we're gonna take a quick look there. We can see whether does it let you these days.
it does now. They added it back in. He has 0.2.
So we can't get Haller.
Can't get Holland.
Yeah, so that's a save for me.
Yep, save and hope that the young boy comes good finally. Phil, your thoughts?
Yeah, Moise would at least come on, so I think he could come good.
So you like the Cantwell move?
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Oh,
I think save.
you save. Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah, the two free transfers will be probably very useful during the break. So
After a break.
Yeah, I think if you can afford to save, like I would always buy saving over an international break.
yeah, so if there's nothing pressing, in most of the teams there is nothing pressing really.
To be fair, most of these teams were wildcarded last week.
So
Yeah.
far, the ones we've gone through have been, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
So Darth Crid.
Darth Crid is 1 free transfer, not 8.
Standard Cont bench. Save.
Standard bench.
Yeah.
I could
Comfortable save.
I would save here too, yeah. Phil?
All right, now I can see it after the 10th
Okay.
of July. Yes, that is a save to me as well.
Yeah. Save as well.
It was wrong. Having the freeze, it's one of the reasons I don't want to take a hit from Martial on my team, is having at least don't take a hit going into it and having some flexibility coming out of it is more important than going for the points this week. Oh, he gave some options, which we like A, but he was thinking Martial to Mount, Jota to Barnes, or Martial and Jota to Mount and Haller Barnes. Well, I don't think this is the week to do Jota now. I think it's
I would fancy Burnley to score, but the odds are not. You'll be probably playing against the odds if you got Barnes. And again, as I said, selling Martial is not preferable. If you look at the next 2 fixtures after this week, Mount's got Liverpool and then Wolverhampton. So definitely prefer Martial over those two. So yeah, that's a save.
Definitely. All right, these are all this response. Trig has a question. Potential -8. Good old Trig is always being aggressive this year. He took a -8 last week.
Hey, the guy's doing all right. It's working for him.
Yeah. So, all right. Martial Kane out. Aguero, Laporte, and Cantwell in. Well, I think you will get one of those hits back with Laporte for sure. Don't fancy Kiko at all as a clean sheet. If his captain is Aguero, he could make out this week, actually, but I'm not sure who his captain would be.
I would guess Sterling.
I would guess so, too.
I had this discussion with Trig on the chat, and another option, and this is one I would actually prefer, is for -4 and selling Kane and Martial and getting Lanzini and Aguero, and he's got funds to do so. So that would be avoiding a hit for a defender, even though I actually agree Laporte will probably pay off this week or maybe another one. But I think, still get Aguero, get a West Ham midfielder for an injured Martial and Kane playing away from home. So, yeah, my move here will be probably Aguero and Lanzini for a -4. I'm not a big fan of, taking consecutive -8 hits,
Right. But it's Trig, and it's worked for him. So if he keeps Kiko and he benches this week, Wan-Bissaka, Trent, he could play Maitland-Niles. I'm just thinking of what you just said, JK or Julio. If he were to sell Martial for a West Ham mid, he could bench Kiko.
Yeah, and then he could play Maitland-Niles instead of Dendonker. So get on 4-4-2 probably.
Yeah, it gets him Aguero. It
3-5.
gets him some West Ham coverage.
I'm not sure whether he prefers Greenwood on Lundstram. I think that's a personal choice, but it's either 3-5-2 or if I see correctly, no, sorry, 4-4-2 or 3-4-3.
It would be
Either Greenwood or Lundstram.
Yeah.
if he gets. Go ahead, JK. Okay.
So I was just saying, well, a lot depends because if we get anything sort of breaking tonight when the embargo breaks on the press conferences, if there's any kind of indication on Greenwood starting, you just throw him in the starting lineup then.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
We're in the early kickoff, so we may get, you never know, we may get a leaked lineup or something like that that
be.
indicates he's starting.
Yeah, I don't like the going for 2-4-5s in the mid then, especially not when you have a bench with Kiko on it. So I would be tempted to do what Jo said with the West Ham mid and still get Aguero in. Because I think, especially Arsenal's fixtures turn, there's some clean sheet potential there. What would he have with Laporte? You could, I mean, Norwich has scored against Poole and Chelsea, so it's not out of the question for them to score if he gets Laporte next week. So, all right, Phil, thoughts on?
Yeah. I said to him in the chat that go for it. I like the Laporte move as well. I don't like Kiko at all. No clean sheet since February 9, and they are on a downward trajectory. Watford.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I mean that the -8 move, it's not that bad. I mean Laporte will probably pay off in a week or two, that's for sure, because Kiko is absolutely
Yeah, they want to keep clean sheets, lots of them.
Yeah, and he's got some attacking threat. So I think either way he can go wrong with those moves really. I mean selling Kiko just can't go wrong. So that's fine.
Don't let Profi say that.
Probably, yeah. He's not in the chat anymore in the Contcast chat, but that would be his comment. Never felt Kiko. All right, Trick. So I think we would advise probably only a -4, but if you want to go for it, I think you're a hot hand right now. Paying off in the next 8, I think it definitely will. I know he didn't wild card, so
yeah,
I think it'll definitely.
So I'm just gonna throw in because I've got to go. So I'm just before I disappear. I'm just gonna throw in my pick for this week, and I'm gonna say it's Haller.
So you're picking Haller as your
picking Haller.
6 goal scorer. Got it. Phil, pick a player from a non-top 6 team for scoring this week.
Can I choose Pookie again?
No, again. Suppose I don't know. There's a rule not choosing the same guy.
Is there a rule?
No, we didn't really say one. If you'd like to choose Pookie, go ahead.
Yeah, Pookie for me. Sure.
Okay. Jo, yourself?
I'll go safe and get someone consistent like Ayoze Perez. But no, seriously, I'll probably get. No, it's probably Jamie Vardy this week.
Nice. I'm going just because JK's still on the call and he'll get a kick out of this. We just got done talking about Kiko. I think Watford's defense is absolutely horrible. I am going to go Miguel Almiron to score.
No, Darth Craig claimed Joe Linton.
Joe Linton, yeah, I didn't say him.
Yeah, Darth Craig claimed him.
Right.
Almiron.
I'm going to go Almiron, yeah.
I mean, hasn't he? I mean, he's yet to score in the league altogether. I think he hasn't scored a league goal for Newcastle yet. Yeah. That would be a great call if he did this week, Swan.
We're not playing this for money, so I'm just going to have some fun with it.
Yes, that's fair enough. I know you like him from the MLS, so.
Yeah. All right, take care, boys.
Yeah, we're about good. All right, guys. Thank you very much. Phil, great to have you on. Hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, great to see you, Phil.
Same, guys. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks, Jill.
All right, thanks a lot. Take care, guys.
Talk to you soon.